President Muhammadu Buhari is certainly a man under pressure, but the demands of the office are not such that he could abandon except his health fails him. Last week, he had the task of responding to COVID-19 crisis in Kano State. In doing so, he assured the people of Kano that he will not let them down. This followed the several mysterious deaths recorded within a week in the state. The president's assurance was contained in a statement issued by a senior special assistant on media and publicity, Garba Shehu. The president and his government are with the people of Kano State and will not let them down. If there is reason to believe that the mortality rate in Kano State to COVID-19 is out of control, it will spur a serious development to which the best action will be for the federal government and state governments to work more tightly together to find solutions and implement together. The situation in Kano is no doubt one of the national emergency. The president's show of sympathy was not unexpected. Indeed, nothing less would have been expected from the father of the nation. Nevertheless, the Kano situation has presented an intricate case. On the one hand, Governor Abdullahi Ganduje is largely perceived to have underperformed in managing the COVID-19 pandemic crisis, choosing irresponsibly to live in denial when unplanned deaths began to manifest in the city. On the other, he has also received serious knocks for creating the impression that he was mostly interested in a certain 15 billion naira support from the government, when he had exercised little of no initiative in building infrastructure for containment of the health crisis. Ganduje looks to have carried on like an overfed baby, or many things that the president is pampering him and their situation in Kano. This claim gained weight in Buhari's approval to ease the lockdown in the state, after the governor, who had shown absolute lack of control, persuaded a relaxation of the measures. It was Abba Alwo, the chief press secretary to Kano State Governor Ganduje, who betrayed the president in a statement when he stated that Buhari had given a nod for the relaxation of the lockdown to allow for some free movement of people for some hours on Mondays and Thursdays. We sought for the consent of Mr. President on how to relax the lockdown to allow for some free movement of people, but within stipulated hours of the agreed days, the statement reads in part. As father of the nation, President Buhari must be seen to be firm and not pamper some people in authority when it is obvious that they are manifesting lack of leadership skills. The time to speak truth to Ganduje is now, for he must be told that the sorry state of the COVID-19 war in Kano owes largely to his visionlessness. And that is it. In making the 2020 Workers' Day, President Muhammadu Buhari ascertained that his government will ensure that no employer, especially in the private sector, will restrict workers without following due process. The president's address to mark Workers' Day celebration was read by the Minister of Labour and Employment, Dr. Chris Ngige, during a virtual meeting with labor leaders inherent with the social distancing policy. I understand the anxiety which has plagued the minds of workers over the possibility of job losses due to the economic downturn caused by the pandemic and lockdown, especially in the private sector. In this regard, the government will ensure that no employer would restrict or lay off workers without going through due process of social dialogue, which includes consultations with workers and with the competent authority, Federal Ministry of Labor and Employment, the statement read in part. It will be interesting to see how Buhari matches his words with action. First, he can only keep that promise with the public sector when he holds sway as president of the country. For the private sector, Mr. President's declaration may only amount to grandstanding as he is not in absolute control. He can only persuade players in the private sector with an appeal if his administration shows increasing capacity to create an enabling environment for businesses to strive. It bears repetitives to mention that insecurity, infrastructure, and the never-ending epidemic power supply remain unresolved issues in the nation's quest for suitable economy. Last week, the president encouraged scientists and researchers to urgently practically work for home-ground cure to the COVID-19 pandemic in the country. The secretary to the government of the Federation and chairman of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, Boss Mustafa, disclosed this in Abuja at the 24th Joint National Briefing on the committee. He said, "I have been encouraged by the feedback from Nigerians on the need to deepen research into COVID-19 so that a homegrown cure could be found. Part of the mandate to the PTF is to build strong base for research. I therefore urge our scientists and researchers to come up with their findings and follow the validation protocols," Mustafa said. And existing as this may seem, government good interventions can only manifest in a very practical response. So we dare ask if Mr. President is considering doing something radical by breaking unknown protocols and assembling the best that Nigerians could present to quickly find a cure for this dangerous pandemic. The president is challenged to rally the likes of Prof. Morrison Igbo and had earlier claimed that he has identified a possible treatment for the pandemic, and many other Nigerians who have laid claims to finding local cure for the virus. These are not times for May talks. It is therefore the president to swing into action and do all he can within his power to salvage Nigerians from this health crisis. Yeah, and these have generated so many reactions by Nigerians. Okay, someone say if it is Southwest, they would care for anybody is better in this. I don't actually go what this person says. So let's go to another person. Someone say he is over pampered maybe because of the fake voters that he claimed for President Muhammadu Buhari he got from Kano State. Okay, that is why President is under pressure by actually trying to pamper him, he said. Okay, someone said here, birds of the same feathers, they flock together. Gandola and his father, an animal can only give birth to his kind. Okay, somebody say, I am not disappointed, okay, by Ganduje's action because the man is dull, and that is how dull people behave, he said, okay. Okay, somebody said the case with Governor Ganduje is like the saying goes, the court sings who is to carry it around and becomes heavy. Otherwise, who is Ganduje to risk the life of the people of Kano State under COVID-19 pandemic? It is because he has his principle at the center that he cannot joke with him. That is why Ganduje is playing with the life of people in Kano State. There are so many of them here. This is the list I can take for now. So hello guys, what's your take on this? Don't forget to leave your opinion below the comment box. Thank you for stopping by. Bye for now.